Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about our next note sheet, which is writing systems using elimination. So today we're going to start by doing elimination, and we'll just get through as many of the word problems on this worksheet as we can. So let's start off with, let's take a look at number 1. So for number 1, it says Dante spent $11.25 on new, so 3 new and 4 old comic books. So let's go ahead and let's let X represent our new and Y represent our old. So that's representing the price. So if we're buying 3 new comic books, it's going to cost us that X price. For buying 4 old comic books, it's going to cost us the Y price. And that together is going to be $15.75. Okay, then it says Samantha spent $15.75 on 10 old. Now remember, old is Y. Just because it comes first doesn't mean it's X. And X is new. So 3 new at X price and 10 old at Y price. And that was, $15.75. I'm sorry, Dante spent $11.25. All right, so let's go ahead and let's write that in instead. All right, so now this is set up in standard form. And I notice that my 3's are the same for the X. So all I have to do is make one negative. So I'm going to take a -1 and distribute it in. So then I get 3X plus 4Y is equal to 11.25. So then I need to take that -3X minus 10Y, because I'm distributing that negative into each thing, is a -15.75. So now I'm all ready to add down the columns. 3x minus 3x is going to cancel out. 4y minus 10y is going to give me a -6y. And then 11.25 minus 15.75 is going to give me a -4.5. So now I want to take and I want to divide both sides by a -6 to solve for that y. And then I get that y is equal to 75 cents. So it's 75 cents, but I also need to say which 75 cents that's for. And that's for old comics. Okay, old comics. So now I need to go back up to one of these original equations, and I need to plug in what I know y is. Well, I know that y is 75 cents. So let's just take this equation right here, and I'm going to plug in 75 cents for y. So writing that out, I have 3x plus 4 times 0.75 is equal to 11.25. So then I get that 3x, then you take 4 times 0.75, that's 3, is equal to 11.25. So now we're going to solve for x. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. And we get that 3x is equal to 11.25 minus 3, which is 8.25. Last but not least, to solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And then we get that x is equal to 8.25 divided by 3, which is 2.75. And so that's for new comics. So it's $2.75 for new comics. Remember, you want to make sure you distinguish each of those labels. Let's take a look at number 2. The sum of two numbers is 22. So x plus y, that's hard to see, let me change my pen here. X plus y is equal to 12. The difference of the same two numbers. So the difference, that's going to be a minus sign. So the difference of those two numbers is going to be -4. So what I noticed about this equation is it's set up very nicely for elimination. I have plus and I have minus. So we can go ahead and add down the columns. X plus x is going to give me 2x. Those y's are going to cancel. 12 minus 4 is going to give me 8. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I get that x is equal to 4. So now I know that x is equal to 4. So I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to plug that back in. So I'm going to take x out completely and I'm going to put that y in instead. So I get 4 plus y is equal to 12. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and I get that y is equal to 12 minus 4, which is 8. So x is equal to 4, y is equal to 8. All right, so at the store, toothbrushes cost X dollars and bar of soap costs Y dollars. One customer bought 2 toothbrushes and 1 bar of soap for $11. So X represents the price of toothbrushes, Y represents the prices of bar of soap. So one customer bought 2 at price X for toothbrushes and 1 at price Y for bars of soap, and that equals $11. Another customer bought 6 toothbrushes at price X and 5 bars of soap at price Y, and that was equal to $38. So now we want to go ahead and add down the columns. But before we do that, we want to have same coefficient with opposite signs. So what I notice is there's a positive 1y here, and I want to take and make that the opposite of 5. Well, the opposite of 5 would be a negative 5. So I'm going to take this first equation and multiply it by negative 5. And I'm going to multiply each thing by negative 5. So I'm going to get a negative 10x minus 5y is equal to a negative 55. And then the second equation is going to stay the exact same. So negative 10x plus 6x is going to give me a negative 4x. And a negative 55 plus 38 is going to give me 17. A negative 17, sorry. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 4. And when I do that, that's going to make my answer positive. 17 divided by 4 is going to give me $4.25. So I have $4.25. Okay, so now we know that x is equal to 4. So where I see x in this original equation, I can plug in 4 instead. And you can use either one. Let's go ahead and let's use the top one. So now I'm going to plug that in instead of x. So I'm going to write the equation out exactly as is. I'm going to take x out and I'm going to put in 425 instead. So 2 times 425 gives me 8.5 plus y is equal to 11. Subtract 8.5 from both sides. And that gives me that y is equal to 250 when you subtract those out. Now I need to make sure that I say which one is which for these. Well, the 425 was for the toothbrushes. And the 250 was for the bars of soap. All right. Okay, so let's flip it over to the back page. Let's take a look at number 4. So for number 4, the sum of two numbers is the same as 4 times the smaller number. So I'm going to let x represent the smaller number. And I'm going to let y represent the number. So the sum of two numbers, so the smaller number plus the larger number is equal to 4 times the smaller number, which means we're going to have the smaller number times 4. If twice the larger number, so we're going to take the larger number times 2, is decreased by the smaller, the result is 30. Now, in order for us to use elimination on this, we need to get that 4x over to the other side. So right now we have the equation x plus y is equal to 4x. So now I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides since it's positive, and I get a negative 3x plus y is equal to 0. That right side doesn't just go away, it's equal to 0. So we have a negative 3x minus y is equal to 0. Now I'm going to flip these two around when I rewrite it out so that my columns are lined up for numbers and letters. So now I need to figure out a way to get same coefficient. Well, I notice that the y's already have opposite signs. So I'm going to take this first equation and multiply it by 2 so that those y's will have opposite coefficients. So 2 times a negative 3 is negative 6x. Negative 2, or 2 times negative y is negative 2y, and 0 times 2 is still going to be 0. Okay, so what we have here then is when we multiply this out, I'm sorry, this is a negative 3x, and so when we multiply this by a negative 2, this is a plus y, we need to multiply by a negative 2. Okay, so then we get this to be positive. So these guys are going to cancel now, and then we get 6x minus x is 5x. These guys will cancel, and that's equal to 30. So now we're going to divide both sides by 5, and we get that x is equal to 6. So the smaller number is 6. So now that I know that, I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it in for x up there. So I have 2y minus 6 is equal to 30. Well, to solve for y, I need to add 6 to both sides. Then I get that 2y is equal to 36. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I get that y is equal to 18. So the larger number is 18, the smaller number is 6. Let's take a look at this word problem. A shipment of TVs, some weighing 30 pounds. Let's let X represent our 30 pound and Y represent our 50 pounds. Has a total weight of 880 pounds. If there are 20 TVs altogether, how many types of each TV there are? Okay, so for every X 30-pound TV that we have, it's going to weigh, guess what, 30 pounds. For every Y 50-pound TV we have, it's going to weigh, guess what, 50 pounds. And together they need to add up to 880 pounds. Now the two, so then that needs to add up to 20. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and we need to solve this by elimination. Okay, so the X plus Y is equal to 20 is because there's 20 total TVs. So what I noticed, this has a positive coefficient of 1, and I want to make it the opposite of a positive 30. So I'm going to take this second equation and multiply everything in it by a negative 30. So my top equation is going to stay the exact same. I'm not changing that equation. Then negative 30 times x is negative 30x. Negative 30 times y is negative 30y. And negative 30 times 20 is negative 600. So now I can go ahead and add down the columns. This is going to cancel out. 50y minus 30y gives me 20y. 880 minus 600 gives me 280. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide both sides by 20. So 280 divided by 20 gives me 14. So now I have to think about what y represented. So I go back up to the beginning, and y represented 50-pound TVs. So I know that there's 14 50-pound TVs. Okay, so let's take a look. So I also know that between x and y, I need to have 20 total TVs. You can probably already do that math in your head. Okay, so I know that my number of 30-pound TVs, which is x, plus my number of 50-pound TVs, which we now know is 14, has to be equal to 20 total TVs. So now to solve for x, I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides, and I get that x is equal to 6. Now x represents the 30-pound TVs. So there's 6 30-pound TVs. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that note video right there. You do not have to do number 6 on the note sheet or the worksheet. So once you're done, go ahead and show me that you finished the video, and I will give you the worksheet. Thanks for listening.